Welcome to Lake Louise. Feels just like home. It's snowing, the sun comes out, then it goes away. Absolutely gorgeous. I feel like I'm in the Chronicles of Narnia, just surrounded by beauty. I can see how in the summer the water will turn bright blue, and there's a little spot of it over there. It's the end of April, so we knew that it would be mid-season or in between seasons in spring. Great time to come. So I'm standing on the lake, but it seems like the further you go out, of course, the thinner the ice is. I saw some people going out a little bit further, which made me nervous, but the further I go back, a little bit nerve-wracking. Into a little market here at Lake Louise, and not shocked by the prices, but it made us realize that we probably should have planned a little bit further ahead in terms of like lunch meat and bread, and it's pretty pricey. And we got some pierogies, which I'm super excited to make tonight for dinner. Salad, some potatoes, some sauce. Now I got to figure out where I'm going to put it all. We got Cholula for $3.99. That's a deal there. I'm sure that everything in their store, they picked, whoever like buys for them, everything is perfectly for camping and camper vans. So cute. We were gonna wait to get the goodies that we find here in Canada that we can't get at home, but Jim insisted that we have a little snack for dessert. Milk chocolate butter cookies. Funny, we're doing this and everybody is staring at us. And I don't think it's really because we're videoing. I think it's because anytime we stop and we have this door open, people want to look inside. I think I've done like 3 or 4 van tours already. Didn't quite expect to get that much attention, but hey. Jim picked up pepperoni snackers for the road. I'm gonna leave these out. Desperately need some salad. And I got 3 potatoes, which I'm gonna put with the pierogies tonight and also use for breakfast and fry them up in the morning. And now the refrigerator's stocked with beer, soda, salad. We're good to go. We're headed into Jasper National Park now. We decided not to go into the town of Banff because it looked a little bit touristy, and it's interesting because you can go a couple of days without seeing people on a trip like this and get used to it. And as soon as we found ourselves around other people, I don't know about Jim, but I got a little bit anxious, so I wanted to get away from people. So headed into Jasper National Park. The weather is fluctuating. I was just burning up hot, and now we're headed into, it looks like it's snowing where we're going, right?
It's like a pretty heavy snowstorm.
Heavy snowstorms, yay. Okay, so it's snowing back home in Alaska. Bright sunshine right where we're at right now. It's warm, and now we're headed on up into the snow. I also wanted to mention that the suspension on this baby is amazing. Kind of like this a little bit every now and then, but otherwise it's perfectly smooth. The way the snow is covering the mountains, the way the sun's hitting the mountains, it's breathtaking. As many times as you could possibly see something like this, you can probably never get enough, and depending on the time of the year, it's always going to change. So I'm so thankful we came at this time of the year. I see two glaciers here. We have one up here to the left. One right behind me, which you may not be able to see very well, but in the summer you can actually take a little road up to it and then walk up straight to the glacier. This is pretty cool too. It's a lodge, big and massive. I did see some geese as we were coming in, and those are some pretty hardcore geese to be up here in the water. It's cold. What's funny about this stop is I told Jim that I had to go pee. So he pulls over to the side of the road and he says it's closed. I was like, okay. I was like, I still gotta go pee. He's like, but it's closed. Not thinking that I can still go pee in the van, right? It's kind of hard to go pee as you're going down the road. Just saying. I told him, so I just told him, hey, I'll just go pee right here in my seat then. I don't care. I had to go pee. The great thing about a van is when you gotta go, you can go. At first we were gonna be really conservative, and van lifers, I don't know how you do it, how you live in a van without a toilet, because especially on trips like this, there's nowhere to go unless you go in there. I guess you can use a bucket. That's cool. I'm okay with my cassette toilet. Pretty cool. I was just talking about how I'd like to see more wildlife along the way, because there's been signs along the way that say, oh, there's going to be elk, caribou, moose. None of that. Those signs lie. There was even a sign that said caribou crossing, crossing straight ahead. No caribou. About 10 miles later, we see a black bear just cruising alongside the road. Yay! Hopefully there's more ahead.
I got to see some Gaul sheep. She just wasn't paying attention.
I saw the sheep, but I wasn't fast enough. I don't have this thing going all the time. I did see this is funny. So we were in this really hairy area of the road where it was like drop-offs on both sides, and I saw this thing going across the railroad tracks just cruising along, and I was like, oh Jim, it's a buffalo. It wasn't a buffalo. It was more than likely a big grizzly, but it was too far away and we couldn't stop to see it. So far we've seen sheep, no, goats.
All sheep.
Doll sheep, goats, squirrels, a dead turkey. That's about it. I've been kind of looking forward to seeing stuff that we don't see up in Alaska, like elk, deer. I saw eagles. 2 bears. Apparently where we were camping last night, there was reports that there was a lot of bears around, but I saw absolutely no signs of bears. No poop, no tracks, nothing. Best camping spots we've found so far have just been little turns off the side of the road, and we're using Overlander. It's an app which other people get together and they put together like a compilation of places where they stay, and they review them, and they give us people like us who are traveling ideas of places to stay. We took a turn on the road and it said that Wabasso campground was 8 kilometers away, so we headed towards it. And in Canada, most of the campgrounds are closed, and when they're closed, they have a big sign across them that say closed. However, there have been 2 along the way that they're not open. So We found out that this road is actually going to take us to Jasper. It's a little bit of a detour, but it's a cooler road. Might take us a little longer, but we'll get there. A little tip, like, overlander isn't always right. Because it said it was open. And he believed me. So another little lesson learned. We pulled into this campground just outside of Jasper that when we first pulled in, it was just all motorhomes. And one thing we have decided, which we weren't sure before, is that we don't want to be piled on top of each other with other motorhomes just lined up. So we decided that we would head straight into Jasper and see if we could find a Walmart for the night or somewhere just to park on the side of the road, because this didn't look that great. And then I saw that this was the only campground that's open all year, so we decided to come back, check out the tent sites because we didn't need power. After a little drive around, we saw that other places were parked here and plugged in, which is a little bit confusing, but after driving through several open sites, there's some wood here already, so we decided to stop here for the night. It's a little pricey at 41 Canadian dollars per night, but it has electric, which we just decided to plug into anyway. And it's pretty quiet. Actually, it's very quiet. And I guess I'm like really truly an introvert, because one of the things that I'm having a really hard time getting used to is people staring, and not necessarily just, I think that they're bored. You know, we pull in and people watch, and I find myself here hiding and talking to you. So yeah, I guess when you're camping there's nothing else better to do but stare at other people, but it's a little bit creepy. If you have any suggestions on how to get used to being watched all the time when you're in a campground, leave them in the comment section below. You can tell me just to get over it. I don't care, but it's creepy. I closed the door because I'm getting ready to make dinner, and our neighbors are pretty far away. They're in a travel trailer with the truck. Of course, we just pulled in. They're interested in us, and you know, we'll probably go over and say hi in a little bit, but it's kind of awkward when you have a van and it's parked with the door facing other people, because they're just sitting there by their fire with their blankets and hats and not talking to each other or doing anything interesting, just watching. And we're really not that interesting, you know. We don't have a whole lot to set up or put out or anything. They're just sitting there facing us, and pretty bizarre. So because it's my first night doing this and I'm definitely a rookie, I'm gonna close the door, open up the vents, and make up some dinner. Funny thing is, you know how I got those potatoes earlier? I don't have a knife. So at least we have salad and other stuff to go with it. So we are so tired. Actually, we're getting kind of snippy with each other right now, to be honest. So Jim's doing a little work right now, and great thing is even though we have this small space, we can find our space. I'm gonna cook dinner, he's gonna work, and it should be getting dark here in about a half hour. Hungry, tired, still super happy, but it's just the Twilight Zone a little bit. Maybe it'll turn out to be really nice. Maybe they're just stalkers. Maybe they're gonna come get us during the middle of the night. We'll find out. My first meal in the camper van is complete. I made pierogi with salad, learned a few things. We forgot some stuff. Dish soap, a cutting knife, well, a knife's cut, but like an actual kitchen knife, scissors, tongs if you're gonna fry. And frying isn't really a good idea because, especially when you're out in the wilderness, the campgrounds aren't level, so the oil all went to one side of the pan. Yeah, no more frying.
It was really good though.
It was delicious. We didn't know where we were staying for the night, so we didn't get anything to put over the campfire, but we have a beautiful campfire going right now, and it's toasty and warm. And cleanup was also a little bit of a challenge without dish soap and a sponge. That's the other thing I forgot, a sponge. But while Jim's working, I whipped up dinner. Next time I'll make it a little bit easier. I'm thinking we're gonna go with a 3-quart Instapot. If you have any food suggestions, I'd appreciate them in the comments. Super easy, doesn't take a whole lot of room in the refrigerator. It took me a good 45 minutes to make that. So I'd rather be out here enjoying my time by the fire with him. But yeah, between prep, cooking, and cleanup, it took me 4 times longer to make the meal than it did to eat it.
It was worth it.
It was absolutely worth it. It was a learning experience too, so bellies are full. We're gonna relax for the night, call it a night. Oh, I have real good news. So we were on a time crunch. Our time crunch has expanded just a little, a few more days. So I got lucky. I got lucky with time. I was supposed to be back home by Friday, and long story short, it's been extended. So we have a little bit more time. We definitely have to be back by Tuesday night. So what's today? Today is
Tuesday.
We have another week. We're just outside of Jasper. We have a full week left. No more pushing it. Yes. Okay. Thank you to you know who you are for doing that for me so I didn't have to push it home. I love you and appreciate you. Peace out.